welcome back. Uh, it's been over a month and I'm still doing it. And so far, um, I have almost finished like uh, 700 pages, and I'm also doing these kind of annotations. So these kind of annotations to see the things that I am liking. There are many places where I like the conversation that is happening, or how the characters are feeling, or the descriptions of the war, or maybe it's just a simple quote. So all these things I'm highlighting here so that I can refer to them if I want to. So far, I would say that this book, this masterpiece, has not let me down. I am still enjoying it. It is living to all my expectations. But there are some things which I felt when I started this book, and I would say that some of the things that I thought that this book would be, this book is not that. It is much more than that. So first of all, I thought that it is going to be a historical fiction, but honestly, when I have now finished like more than 50% of the book, and I am realizing that this book is honestly not about history. It's not about fiction. It's not a novel. You cannot say that it's only about the society of Russia. It's not an essay, it's not a big essay. What I would say is this book is everything. This book is a mixture of all these things, and that's what makes it so interesting. The next thing that I loved about this book is the characters. When I started reading the book, at many places I felt that I'm getting confused between the characters. So what I did is I started creating this kind of character chart for myself. It might not look much to you guys, but it actually helps me to keep things in order as far as characters are concerned. So I have mainly marked the main characters, and then if a character is repeating in couple of scenes and is like going to places, then I like write it down. Otherwise, the characters which are just appearing once, I'm not writing those characters down. So this is making things easier for me. So that is one thing. The characters are now becoming clear. Other thing I liked is the characters that we saw in the beginning of the story. Those characters are not the same. Those characters are evolving over the period of time. As the story progresses, you will see that the characters are changing. Say for example, I really loved this moment of epiphany for Prince Andrei. So Prince Andrei decided to go to war, and then he was so adamant that even after his father telling him many times that it's okay, don't go for war and all that, and he was expecting his first child, but still he insisted that he will go for, he will join the army, and then he did. And then finally, when he came face to face, when he was on the battlefield and he was hurt and he was looking up at the sky, that was his moment of epiphany. And that's when he realized that what life really means and what death really means. What are the things that are really important to you, and what are the things that are not. And that's when he realized. That was his moment of epiphany, and Tolstoy described it amazingly well. The second part I loved was that of Nikolai. Nikolai was initially shown as a character who is fun, but who is not very clear. You can't say that he is a main character, or he has something extraordinary which we expect from the main character. But as the story progresses, Nikolai found out that his calling is in army. He is very comfortable when he is surrounded by his soldier friends, his army and all that thing. So that made his path clear. So that was the epiphany for Nikolai, and I really loved that part. Pierre's story is like Prince Andrei and Nikolai are at war, and their story is going that way. And what is happening with Pierre? Pierre has not joined army. He is still in the society. Now he's married to Prince Vasily's daughter. He got fortune from his father, so he is now Count Bezukov, and he married to Prince Vasily's daughter Helen, and their relationship also has lots of ups and downs, and like they're moving apart, it seems. And then Natasha and Prince Andrei are like, you know, getting together, and there is something happening out there. So these are the things that I loved about the story, and the story is progressing wonderfully. So the parts that I initially used to, you know, dislike, the war part, are now becoming interesting, because you are not only seeing the war from the perspective of you know, battlefield. You are seeing war as a stage for human improvement. You are seeing that how a normal human can, you know, gain something from these kind of episodes. Also, the thing that I love the most in Tolstoy's way of learning the history is that at many points we got to know that this is happening because of one single person's, or like maybe two people's greed, because Prince Alexander is there, and then Napoleon Bonaparte is there. Russians are blaming him, and he's blaming the prince that he's not accepting his terms and all those things. So because of that, war is happening and all those things. But we are also learning a way that because of single person, we are entire army, the two states are, you know, two countries are at war, but there are some human aspects as well, like when Prince Andrei was caught, and he thought that he's died, but he was still alive. And when Napoleon saw him, and then the kind of humanity was shown in those scenes, I really love that. So yes, it's like getting really interesting, and really what would you say, it's like there's a kind of web that is happening. Everything is, all the relations are like interwoven here and there. So that's the best part, like mixing up the story so well and still keeping it so clear. So that's the thing that I absolutely loved about this story. And I'm planning to read it more, because I was thinking to finish it in a month, but I don't think that's going to happen. So it's almost 1.5 months now, so I think I'll be able to finish it in 2 months. So let's see. And also I love this quote, this particular part of the book that I'm currently reading. It's page 734, and it is like this: we shall, if everybody wants it. It can't be helped. But believe me, my dear boy, there is nothing stronger than those two, patience and time. They will do it all. But the advisors, some want, think others don't. What's one to do? He asked, evidently expecting an answer. Well, what do you want us to do? He repeated, and his eye shone with a deep, shrewd look. I will tell you what to do. So I really love this part about time and patience. These are the two things, and nothing is stronger than time and patience. If you, like, you know, if you give time to something and have patience, many things can be accomplished from it. So yeah, absolutely loving the quotes as well. Also, yes, one more thing, I am also living with the French parts, because there are many things which are written in French in between, so I have to keep on checking the translation. And my French is very basic. I just know what the Duolingo teaches you, like the very basic, like what you can use for traveling and all those things. So this is like very advanced for me, so I am also learning many new things in terms of my French as well. So yes, it's good so far. Guys, so I am almost at the end of the story, and I would honestly like to say, if you really want to read this book, I would suggest that you stop the video right here, because if you want to read this book, what is going to come after this part can be a spoiler for you. Because if you are reading War and Peace and you are at the end of it, it's very, very difficult to not tell what is happening here in the story. So what we saw was that after 700 pages and all, I got to know about Battle of Borodino and what happened. So the detail of Battle of Borodino and the Russian and French soldiers, how they fought, and Pierre went to see that fight, and after that what happened. Many soldiers were injured, and then French army is coming to Moscow. They are going to enter Moscow, and many people are leaving Moscow because French soldiers are going to occupy the entire city. In that, what is happening? So we got to know about Rostov family, that they are leaving Moscow, and then they are also having lots of soldiers in their house, and then while leaving, many soldiers are accompanying them, and in that we got to know that Prince Andrei is also one of the wounded people who is accompanying them, but many of the Rostov families don't know. Natasha don't know about it. And then I think I forgot to tell you that Prince Andrei and Natasha broke off after he got to know about her involvement with Anatole Kuragin, and then there was like lots of mess which happened. Pierre was there to help Natasha. So now Prince Andrei is traveling with them, and then I don't know how to tell it, but Leo Tolstoy actually killed this one of the most loved character of Prince Andrei. Yes, Prince Andrei died. In the story, I liked it. I liked the way he described it, but I didn't like, obviously, Prince Andrei dying. But the way Leo Tolstoy described it was very clear, very subtle, very peaceful. So that's what happening in that. After Moscow was occupied by French, Pierre somehow got involved with French soldiers, and he was taken as prisoner. uh, so again, this part of Pierre taken as prisoner was uh, very thrilling in a way, because Pierre somehow has evolved as a character after he was taken as a prisoner. Earlier he was a count, but now we are seeing a different side of Pierre. So somewhere in the end, when Pierre was in prison, there was this line which says that life is everything, life is God. And Pierre was thinking these thoughts, and these thoughts were like so true, so profound for anyone to think. And then Pierre realized, when he has this moment of epiphany, that no one is good or evil, it's just a situation. So everything is good if you really feel good about anything. And then he talks about how how his life has changed. Earlier he used to move in carriages, now he is walking without his shoes. And then the entire scene of prison was really enchanting in a way, which evolves someone's personality. That was shown very beautifully. And then again, the Rostov family had one more loss, because when army went to fight with French, with whom the prisoners were also traveling, and Pierre was one of them. Petya was also there, Petya Rostov, and he was killed as well. So that was again a bad part for Rostovs. So after that, Pierre came out, and they were back. And then in the first epilogue, it was mentioned that how their lives has changed. So before we go to epilogue, so what happened in the story is, now we have the final two couple, Nikolai and Prince Mary. So they also had a very beautiful scene when Nikolai saved Princess Mary from from the farmers which were there, and then how he helped her to escape the place, and then how they became friends, and now they are together. And then after the death of Prince Andrew, when Pierre came to meet them, meet Natasha, and then eventually how they got close, and now they are one of the couples. So I have already read epilogue 1. So in epilogue we get to see that now Pierre and Natasha has a family of their own. They have their own children. Nikolai and Mary has their own children. Nikolai is handling the Bald Hill farms, and how his situation has changed. Again, Count Rostov died, and then Countess was not in a very good condition, but now she is living with them, so it's fine. So that was the epilogue 1 that was explained. So now the epilogue 2. So I have heard many things about epilogue 2. So many people say that epilogue 2 is quite boring, but I am almost about to finish it, and I would say that if you are reading to understand what is history and how history is written quite often, and then you will understand Tolstoy's perspective of what history should be according to him, then it is not boring. It is quite philosophical in a way, wherein Tolstoy tells us that normally like across the world we see history from the perspective of one person, or we see history as if because of one person something is happening, or because of one incident something is happening. But history is not a standalone thing. History is a mixture of numerous forces that are happening. So it's not only one incident or one person or one society because of which history is happening. It is happening because of all these forces clubbed together. So we cannot tell history based on one person, like it's because of Mughal, because of Akbar it happened. No, we cannot say that. Or we cannot say that because of this society things are happening. It is happening because of all those forces together, and that's the thing that is missing in the history telling, the stories that we are learning, because we are not considering all the forces. So that is quite a big thing, quite a different perspective to see history from. And that is why he's telling it is not Napoleon, it is not Prince Alexander who is making the history or who had, created a history in the world. It is because of all these things which happened, because of all those small things, or their war with Austria, the Germans, and then the Russians' involvement with other countries. So all these things together created all those situations. Because of that, history was created. And having said that, I would say that this book has been one of the favorite book for me so far. I really enjoyed reading it. I really loved every moment of it. And I would say this me after reading War and Peace is not same as the one who started reading War and Peace, because now I am much wiser. I know a lot about Russia and a lot about Tolstoy's writing, and a lot about how a person like Tolstoy can make even a simple thing sound so beautiful, so interesting. Even if he picks a small grass piece, he is the person who can make you see the beauty of that grass. So he is that person who can make everything beautiful. It is wonderful piece of art. And I'm definitely going to pick other work by Tolstoy. And honestly, I'm sure I'm gonna miss this book, because it has stayed so long with me. I think it's almost 2 months, and today is Tolstoy's birthday. On this day I'm gonna finish this book. So still I think some 20-30 pages are left of epilogue 2, which I'm gonna finish today, and I'll make sure I'll finish it today, because I have this in mind that yes, I want to finish it on the birth anniversary of Leo Tolstoy. So that's it about War and Peace from my side. Hope you enjoyed this video, which was not a review, it was not a vlog, it was like me recording this wonderful moment of me reading War and Peace, and I think this will stay with me for long. So yes, if you can, please read War and Peace. It is an amazing piece, a masterpiece in itself. But if you somehow cannot read it, then I would say maybe just just see a movie, but I don't think that will be as good as reading it. Yes. So if you can, do try reading this book. It's amazing. I know it's big, it's like 1300 odd pages, but it is worth every minute that you spend with it. And I'm sure once you finish it, you are going to miss it, just like I am going to do. Thank you. That's it. Bye bye.